Damn, you're back at it again with another gaming headset review. And once again, a big shout out to Cyberport for making these reviews happen. All the links will be down in the description below. And today I have here the Razer Man O'War. As you can already see, this is my first wireless gaming headset. So I would say let's not just waste any more time and check what we get. We get a 2-meter long USB extension with the dongle that you can easily and very conveniently store here in the right ear cup. In terms of controls, we have here a status LED, the power on and off button, micro USB to charge it. Here we have a gain knob to control the microphone volume, and here for the headphone volume. Of course, we also have an extendable and flexible microphone. So about the headphone itself, as you can see, it definitely is massive. It looks big, and it's definitely not a really lightweight one, but it's actually not a problem. The padding here on the top isn't very thick, but therefore it is very soft and all good. Therefore, what is very thick and super soft is the memory foam on the leather ear cups. Definitely soft and big enough, but I would have wished for oval ear cups instead of the circular ones, but I will get into why in just a second. The one thing that I have to complain though is the build quality. It just doesn't feel all that sturdy and a little bit more on the fragile side. But in the end, I would say let's get to the one important thing here, the comfortability. Okay, when you have them on for the very first time, you will think it looks a little bit odd, especially due to the circular ear cups that my ears touched at the bottom and top. But give them a few more seconds, adjust them a little bit properly, set the size, and then let the memory foam do its job, and then it will kind of mold over your ear and actually be super comfortable, since it's a very soft and thick padding, and the top itself, that it's a little bit thinner, is no issue at all. They sit kind of secure enough. If you lean back too much, then they will fall off because just of the sheer size and weight. But if you want to listen to music leaned back, then it will be an issue. But if you just sit halfway straight, it will be no problem because very comfortable. And after a while, I actually almost forgot to have them on, even though they are so heavy. So in terms of comfort, I'm actually surprised that they are so nice. So let's get to the microphone and check that quality. Let me quickly change the microphone. So now you should be able to hear the microphone. I have to say it does sound just a little bit muffled, but otherwise it is quite clear, not really any background noise, and the details are there, but it is almost a little bit too rich, a little bit too much body. I would have wished for a little more clarity in the highs, but just in terms of sheer quality, it actually does a quite solid job, and I'm surprised that is not a fail. Sometimes I had a little bit of some hiss or crackling issues, not quite sure what that is about, but overall I'm quite pleased. So I will switch back to my old microphone, and I would say let's switch to the next thing which to talk about would be the software. As we can already see here, the first point that we have is calibrate. And if you start that, you can now adjust where you hear the stuff, so you can make it a little bit more precise to your hearing in terms of the virtual Dolby surround sound or virtual surround sound. You can also change the volume here in audio, have a bass boost, it goes up to 100%. I wouldn't really go all that much if you want to listen to music, maybe up to maybe 40%, but for games I would actually go a little bit higher if you want that bass. You also have a normalize option, you can change and a little bit kind of influence the sound, how you hear voices from other people in chat or something like that. In the microphone section, you can of course set the microphone volume. Here we have a mic monitor option to hear what you are doing. You have a normalize option here as well. Set the sensitivity here, and you have a noise reduction function that I could really test since my room is already that low in terms of noise. Here we have the mixer. That's not really all that important. We have an equalizer with presets. You can adjust the sound to your liking if you want to. At the lighting option, we have here options for this to light up in different colors, as you can see here, along with a few effects like static, breathing, also spectrum wave, and no at all. And at the OSD part, you can only set where you will see the OSD on which side. That's pretty much it. Not all that interesting. So in terms of software, it's quite good. I would have wished for a few more maybe presets to change with a button or something like that, like it's possible on the Logitechs, but it's quite a powerful and flexible software. And I would say let's get to the other important part, the actual sound. Let's start with the gaming. I have to say the virtual surround sound actually works quite good because it felt immersive. The soundstage was kind of a medium one because not too narrow, but definitely not too wide, and it was definitely a quite solid balance. I liked that, so it felt like really stuff was moving around me and all that. I could maybe properly locate everything else because it's still, after all, just virtual surround sound, but it made a quite good job, definitely better than on the Cloud 2, and that was great. The only thing where I have to complain about is in terms of sound is the bass. It's just a little bit too
unresponsive, just too slow and a little bit muddy. Though the bass very great for those kind of effects and the highs are very clear. So the whole gaming experience was still very immersive. I just would have wished for a little bit more of a punchier, tighter bass. And this brings me already to the music. That's the one minor gripe once again. The bass is just a little bit too slow if you especially want to hear a little bit more audiophile music. Other than that, it's actually quite balanced. Not all that, I would say, too much extreme for gaming, because music was actually really nice to listen, especially the mids, very detailed and very present, very kind of in your face with very clear and detailed highs, not really missing out on anything. Once again, there is some extended bass if you want to use the boost bass function, and I would say use for music maybe at maximum 30% or 40%. Everything else just felt a little bit too much. And like I said, it's just a slightly muddy bass that prevented me from having this as a kind of super great all around. But of course, for gaming, it's a little bit better. So I would say kind of gaming first, but still possible to listen to music quite nicely, but just not with the tightest bass. Overall, what is my verdict here? And let's give you the pros and cons. If you check the cons, it looks like a lot, but a lot of them aren't really that important, because yes, it's heavy, yes, it's big, but once you have them on your own, properly sitting, as I said already, not instantly comfortable, but if you are past that point, they are actually super comfortable, very unnoticeably and really nicely done. So all that is fine. My main complaint would have been the slightly muddy bass. If they would have kind of got that tighter, I would have been perfectly happy, and maybe this would have been my next set, because the microphone is solid, it's great for music after all, the gaming experience was really good, the controls are absolutely nice, the software is good, and the battery life, I forgot to mention, that is really, really solid, because I had it for about 9 or 10 days, even running quite heavily, so the claimed 20 hours seemed definitely more than possible, if not even more in my experience. So for the price, the value is maybe not the best one, because you can't use it with a wire, it's only a wireless option. And the software could be a little bit more flexible, the bass a little bit tighter. So for around, let's say $170 to maybe $200 or euros, I can't really judge it so far, it is kind of still worth its money. But if it's the all-around best one, I'm not sure. I have to try a little bit more on. I would say it's a quite solid all-rounder. It's not particularly the best in gaming, but more towards gaming. But it's also not the very best for music, but quite suited for music after all. So I have to say they did quite a nice job, but they could have done a little bit of a better job after all. But overall, I'm quite pleased. So if you want to check them out, do that. The links for Cyberport will be in the description below. If you like the review, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and I wish you a nice day. Until next time, bye.